Hello and welcome to the Third Sector. Today my guests are here from the Cambridge City Library, and I'm pleased to have Vicki Mellick, who's the library director, and Kim Scott, who's the children's librarian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know there's a lot happening over there in Western Wayne, but let's start with the basics for the library. When did it start? What's your mission? What are some of the programs that you're offering right now at your current location? And then we'll get to the exciting new location in a few minutes.
Okay. The library, this current library was built in 1936, and we are in the same building that we started at. And our mission at the library is to serve Jackson and Washington townships, actually. Our service population area is 5,508 people. And we try to provide recreational and educational materials for the people of Jackson and Washington Township.
So when you say recreational, explain that a little bit.
DVDs or books on CD, magazines, that sort of thing. And of course books, fiction, nonfiction books. And educationally we have reference materials and computers, of course. So we try to have a variety of things for everybody.
So there's a lot going on in that beautiful old building.
Sure
Tell
is.
us about some of the programming. I know that it's not just a place where you come and rent books anymore, or check books out, I should say. Tell us about some of the programming that's going on right now.
I'll let Kim talk about the children's programs, and we
Super.
can start there.
Right now in our current building, because we're in the process of getting ready to move, we're not having any programming right this minute. But when we get in our new building, we will have for preschoolers, infants through about age 4, Mother Goose on the Loose. It's an early literacy program with nursery rhymes and songs. We have music and instruments, rhythm sticks and bells and things, and that goes on twice a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then on Monday afternoons we do an after-school book club for grades about 3 through 5. And we pick a book, and we've kind of tried to stick with some of the classics, and they read and we discuss and have activities to go along with the book. And then we have a story time for kindergarten through 2nd grade on a Monday evenings when we get in our new building. That'll have some storytelling, some crafts, and a snack, things like that. And then we're also in the process of planning our summer reading program already. The theme this year is One World, Many Stories, and so we'll be starting that in June.
Well, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with the kids.
Yes,
And
that's
gone
a
are
lot.
the days of being quiet in the library, apparently. If we're going to
Yes.
we're gonna have instruments
Yes.
and have a lot of fun. So it sounds like some neat program going on for the kids, and I think it's really important to reach out to them when they're young and get them involved in reading and the love of reading that will carry forth, for grades, their high school education, elementary education as well.
For sure. And we also we have gotten many grants for our new library, and the state library provided us with a grant for new computers. So as soon as we get moved, we want to start having computer classes for anybody really, but adults or young adults. So we're excited to be able to do that again with more up-to-date current computers.
Super. I want to jump back over to the kids programs just a moment. Is there a charge for the children to attend those programs?
No, there's no charge. And you just come. We don't have any sort of sign-up sheet or anything. You're welcome to come. The Mother Goose on the Loose programs will be Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 in the morning, and they last generally about a half an hour to 40 minutes. So, and we always provide a snack at the end, animal crackers or something like that. So,
Fun. All right, let's jump into the new building, because I know that's on everyone's mind. We've seen the stories, the updates that are coming out about it. Tell us where you're at now, and do you know when you'll be moving, or give us a progress report.
We are really hoping to move towards the end of January. We're really hoping. One of the folks from our architectural firm, Jonathan Hess from Browning Day, said, you might have to help me, Kim, because the quote is 90% of the effort has to come for the last 5% of the work. And, well, they didn't tell us that in the beginning, but, but now they're telling us. And, you know, that's what it is. It's the finished work that we're waiting on. So we're so close, and it's so beautiful. And we just want to be in there, you know, very, very much. But it's not quite ready. But we're hoping for the end of January, if that's helps anybody. And we get asked that by almost every person that walks in our door. So
I think everyone's just so anxious to get in and
As we
see
are.
this community project that everyone has come around and helped to support.
sure.
Tell us a little bit about what this new building will enable you to do. We've heard some of the programs for the children, and that's an exciting piece of this. What else is this new building going to open up for you?
Well, we do have it's a small meeting room, which will be helpful for people to have maybe a small group meeting. The history room is bigger now, and the ladies, we have volunteers that work in our history room, and they're so excited to get their things more organized, and so more people can come in. We have lots of folks that do genealogy, and so now it's going to be a lot better organized for those people to come in and look around. Space has been our major issue. You know, when we do have children's programs, there's just no room for the kids. So we're going to have room for the children in the children's area, and adults can still read a magazine, and it should be, you know, somewhat quiet for them to be able to do that. So we're so excited to have room to be in a library. And the parking, of course, now we have plenty of parking, and that will be wonderful.
So how is the move going to take place? Will there be a time when the library will be closed to the public, when you will transport the items to their new home?
Yes, we're going to probably, as soon as they give us the key and say the building's yours, and the board has gone through and made sure everything is to their satisfaction, we're going to close the library. We're hoping 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and actually Kim's husband is going to be helping us move. His brother and him are going to rent a big truck and help us box the books up and get them over there.
It really has been a community effort, and I know you were saying before the show that there's been a lot of support from your board and volunteers. Tell us how this process has happened from the beginning, how the community has come around you, and I think there were some people that you maybe wanted to mention and thank a little bit
Well,
too.
yeah, and you know, I could start with the fact that it's probably been a 5-year process from the first time that we thought this might even be something that we could do. And we had meetings with the community. So we had maybe 15, 20 people that were on a committee at the beginning, and then we invited folks to come in and share ideas with us. So the whole community has been involved all along. The board members have been fantastic, and I would like to thank them. They, we for a while were having a meeting every week, and I think our longest meeting was 3 hours, and that was way too long, but there are just so many decisions that had to be made. So they have just, you know, been with us throughout the whole project, and we could not have completed it without them. They've done a great job. We had the high school kids, too, work on the landscaping. Yeah, and they came over and planted trees and bushes and did hard labor work with their teacher, Mr. Redden. So we thank them a lot, and this spring we'll really appreciate that because those things will come into bloom. So we've just had lots of help, and people continue to volunteer saying, when you get ready to move, we want to help. So we have a list of folks that want to help us move and help us put the books back on the shelves. And then when we get into the new library, we have people that say we want to come help shelve books or clean or dust. So everybody wants to be a part of that beautiful new big building.
Yes. I would imagine that there will be a lot of volunteer opportunities, and you said you have a list started. If there are folks out there that are saying, I really want to be part of this, how can they get in touch with you and volunteer some of their time to help make this move, or before you move, or any challenges or opportunities that you might have for volunteers?
Well, of course, they can call the library at our phone number currently. Actually, right now we have a phone number, the phone in both buildings, and we have cable in both buildings. So
why don't you go ahead and give them that phone number?
Okay, it's 765-478-3335. So they can call us, they can email us, and we have a web page, so they could, I don't know how you want to do that, but if they call us, we can get their name and their number.
Super. Let's talk a little bit about the financing. I know this was a huge project for your community, and not only did folks volunteer their time, but they contributed financially. Tell us how that process worked and where you're at now, and is there more that you need from the community for that aspect of the building?
We did have to get a bond to do this renovation project. So we are still, spending that bond money, and then it will have to be repaid over several years, 20 years, I believe. We also received grant money from the State Library, of course, for our computers, but we received stimulus grant money to help us purchase furniture. And then we sold memorial bricks, which you can still buy, that are going to go in our reading garden, the floor of the reading garden, and they're engraved with a name or someone that in memory of, if you'd like, and those are $100 a brick. And we are going to continue to sell those because we can use up to, I think, 3,000, and we'll never use that many. And we've sold a little over 300, so there's plenty of room if somebody wants to buy a brick. And we can always use, continue to get money, donations if folks would like to donate, because we have lots more things that we'd like to do extra for the building.
Super. Well, we've got just a couple minutes left. So what do we need to know about the Cambridge City Public Library that we haven't already covered?
Kim, I've been doing all the talking. Is there anything? We are, so excited to be in this building and expect that as soon as the doors are open, we're going to have lots of people come in and visit us. And so we welcome everybody to come in and share that gorgeous building with us. I can't wait for people to come in and get a magazine or a newspaper and sit at that beautiful arched window at the table and look out at US 40 and just enjoy the sunshine and the beauty of that building.
And I would imagine there will be a grand opening or a time of celebration. And
there will be a grand opening, and we, staff and board members, and we do have a friends group, Friends of the Library. And if anyone's interested in joining our friends group, they can call the library and we can give them information on that. And we will be giving tours of the new library on that day. And so
and we don't know when that day is.
We don't know yet.
We'll make a big announcement in the Western Wayne News.
That's super. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. I know this is such an exciting time for your community, and people are just chomping at the bit to get in that building. So thank you for sharing with us the progress and the process that it has taken to get this new building together for the community. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us share.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Third Sector. My guests now are here representing the Wayne County Literacy Coalition. Did I get that right?
Correct.
Okay. We have Susie Hively, who is our board president, and Blair Beach, who is interim director. Let's start there, Blair. I know a lot of people probably worked with Katie when she was there. She got a fabulous new job.
Yes, she
and
did.
You've now transitioned. Tell us a little bit about how that happened and when you took over.
Well, when Katie went on maternity leave while she was serving in the literacy coordinator position, I filled in for her, and she took a job now here at IU East. So I am interim until we find a new coordinator. So I was familiar with the ropes. So I was happy to step up and fill in for her.
Super. Well, let's start with a history of the organization.
Okay.
What is this organization? What do you do? What's your mission?
Well, there's been a need in Wayne County and the surrounding area for, well, as long as I've been around here at least, for helping adults who need to learn to read either initially or read better. And I'm thinking it's not quite 20 years ago, that a group of people got together, recognized that need, and formed the Wayne County Literacy Coalition to provide individual tutoring done by volunteers from the community to help adults improve their literacy skills. It's really a tremendous opportunity because there are just so many people who need that type of help. I happen to know because in one of my one of my jobs. I'm also the director of the adult education program for Richmond, and we see people coming into our program frequently who have skills that are. It's not unusual for someone to appear with skills that are first or second grade level. And really, to successfully work with people at that level, you need to be working one-on-one. They need a lot of attention and a lot of encouragement and care, and they get that at the Wayne County Literacy Coalition.
What percentage of our population, if you know, would fall into the category of being illiterate or unable to read at an appropriate level?
Well, functional literacy, the ability to read the newspaper, fill out job applications, take a driver's test, that is usually considered right around a 7th or 8th grade reading level. And in terms of functional literacy, we have just under 20% of our population in this region. It's broader than just Wayne County, but in the region who, through the census and things like that, we know don't have functional literacy skills.
That's amazing.
And when people come to us, lots of times their goal is to be able to read to a grandchild, or to read well enough to take a driver's test, or to be able to complete certain types of paperwork that they want to do. Sometimes they have very, very specific goals. Their goal isn't to go on and become a college graduate. Their goal is to really just learn well enough to be able to do this one thing.
Super. So you've been doing this for a long time, not you personally, but the organization. I imagine there have been a lot of changes over time. And I know that you're more or less reinvigorating this organization at this time and working on the programming. So tell us, what is it that you do at this organization for folks when they come to you?
When they first come to us, we give them an assessment, and then we're able to pair them one-on-one with a tutor. And like Susie mentioned, we ask them what their goals are, and it's amazing that these goals that they're trying to reach, just the opportunities that we're able to open up for them. So we are trying to promote literacy in Wayne County, and then help and empower those people who are interested in improving their literacy skills.
How do folks get connected with your organization? Are there referrals? Do they just hear about you and call?
We do have a lot of referrals. If you are interested in working with the Literacy Coalition, you can call the library, and the number there is 966-8294. The extension is 106, or you can email us at literacy@mrlinfo.org. And normally I'll just give you a call back, and I'll set up a meeting with you, and then meet one-on-one and pair you with a tutor, and from there on.
Super. I would imagine it's probably hard for some people to admit they don't know how to read. As adults, we have a lot of pride. Are there other ways that you connect with these adults rather than them just calling you?
Sure. One of the things that we've done as we've tried to sort of rejuvenate this program is we have populated our board with designees from different community agencies who might interface with people who have this need. So we have representatives from the post-secondary institutions, from the public school systems, from the Wayne County Clinic, from different groups in town who, because of their normal day-to-day business, will occasionally run into someone who would need this. And so that's one of the reasons we did our board that way, so that we would sort of have an automatic referral system. We also have a website that is useful, because on the website there's an opportunity to refer, and we are trying to get that information out too, so that if I, for example, needed some help and you were working with me, you could just go to that website, type in my contact information for me if I didn't have those skills, and then again we would contact the person who needed the help. So
once they have said to you, I'd like to learn to read or read better, to walk us through that process a little bit of what that person would expect. I think there might be some fear out there that they're thrown into a big group and everybody knows they can't read all of a sudden. I don't think that's true. So tell us what one would expect to encounter.
I'll let Blair do that.
Okay. Well, we provide individualized tutoring. So after the first initial assessment with you, we pair you with a tutor, and then from there you meet once a week for an hour. Some people, they would like to meet more than once a week, and if the tutor is willing, we set them up with that. And then you just go from there. You speak with your tutor, and you figure out what your goal is and how advanced you would like to take it. And so it's really a one-on-one type of training, very intimate and individualized.
And very private, it sounds like.
Yes.
Where do these meetings take place? Are they at the library where you're housed, or?
Most of the meetings will take place at Morrison Reeves Library, but we also have other locations, the Centerville Center Township Public Library, the Cambridge City Library, and then also the Richmond Senior Center. All those locations are available for tutoring.
And I think that's where we have tutoring right at the moment, but I know that there are other situations that have evolved over time. I know one of our tutors was a school teacher, and her tutee lived in that neighborhood, and so they agreed to meet at the school after school. I know that the Golay Center is willing to find a corner for people, so it really is based on the needs of the people involved, what's most convenient for them. We do try to make sure that they meet in a neutral place, a public place, so that everybody feels comfortable and safe.
That sounds like a very responsive program to the needs of these individuals. Tell us now a little bit about the tutors. Who can be a tutor? What kind of training would be involved in that? And do you have a need for more people to volunteer to be tutors right now?
We definitely have a need for more. Each week we have more calls about coming into the program, so we do need tutors, and what we like to do is set up a training session so that all the tutors are familiar with our training style before they meet with their student. We do have a training coming up in February, and it'll be in the first couple weeks of February, and that information will be on our website, which is waynecoliteracy.org. And then we'll also put out other information so people know if they're interested to be a tutor when that training session is coming up.
And is there a charge for that training?
There is no charge for the training.
No, the training is free to the tutors. And you said, what kinds of skills do you need? I think the biggest skill is a big heart and a willingness to want to help somebody else. And a little bit, as long as you can read, we'll give you the skills to help someone learn to read.
So you don't have to have a master's
You don't
degree
have
or
to
a
have
teaching
you don't have to be a
degree.
teacher. You don't have to be a college graduate. You just have to maybe love to read yourself and have a big heart and want to help. So,
Is there a charge for the services when the folks come and want to have these services provided?
no.
There is no charge.
No charge. You provide the materials that they learn on. Everything is free to these individuals. So there's no holding them back at this
Right,
point.
and that's why you'll want to stay tuned, because we are going to be having a fundraiser here a little bit later this winter. I don't think anyone's tried this in our area before. We're going to have a first of what we hope will be a annual event of a crossword puzzle tournament. So for all you crossword puzzle people out there, stay tuned. Listen to the radio and watch the newspaper.
My mother would excel at that. I sit there and look at those and I'm thinking, I have never heard of some of these words before, but that will be neat to see and participate in. While we're talking about fundraisers, how is this program supported? If you're not charging for the services, who's paying for this?
Well, we work really hard each year to write the grants and do the fundraising and get people, have events as well as do fundraising campaigns. And because the organization has had a pretty low profile in the last couple of years, I don't think people have been as aware of us as I hope they will become in the next year or so, because we do need your help. We have a budget of about $22,000 a year that we need to make. So, and we gather that up in the best ways that we can.
So that's a way that the community could help. If they don't
Absolutely.
feel they have the passion for volunteering as a tutor, donations are always welcome.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Why don't you give us the address to which those checks could be sent if there's folks out there that really want to
Did you
help?
have that? It's
The library.
the library on North 7th, but I'm not remembering the actual number. But I think if you send it to the Wayne County Literacy Coalition at Morrison Reeves Library on North 7th, it would get to us.
We'll pop the address up on the screen.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
find
you.
it and put it up there
Okay.
for folks. So So,
Rachel, I would like to mention too the crossword puzzle tournament that Susie was
Yes.
speaking of. That'll be on Tuesday, March 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Little Sheba's. So we'll provide dinner, we'll have a silent auction as well as the crossword tournament.
Right.
so what are we going to do at this crossword tournament? I assume crosswords.
There you go.
Tell us more.
We are going to have 3 rounds that will be timed, and people will work in partnerships, and they'll have that amount of time to get as much of a particular puzzle done as possible, and they'll get points for the number of squares that they complete correctly in the puzzle. And we'll do 3 rounds, and we'll have round winners, and we'll have an overall winner.
So this is my chance to brush up on those crossword
Right.
puzzles
Yes.
I haven't been completing.
And I liked keeping a score this way because it means if you misspell a word but you get most of it correct, you still get points.
That's super. That's super. We've got about a minute left. What do we need to know about the Wayne County Coalition that we haven't covered?
I think probably the most important thing is if you have an interest in tutoring, or we also have some other volunteer type positions that are helping with intake, just even helping keep our collection of materials organized and those kinds of things. We would love to hear from you because we certainly have the tutors. The hardest part is getting the people to, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. We certainly have the people who want to learn, but what our need is to have tutors.
About how many folks go through this program in a year? Do you have, off the top of your head, know that number?
From rebuilding, we have around 15 right now that have come in through
Right.
the last year.
When the program was in its heyday, they had between 60 and 70 tutors functioning, and our goal for this year is to get up to about 40. And if we got more, that would be wonderful. So.
Right. Well, hopefully this program helped folks to understand the program is alive and well, revitalizing, and in need of people to step forward and help others in our community with this life-changing, really, situation that they're
definitely.
in. So, thank you so much for being with us today. I learned some things today, and I know our public probably has too. So, thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And thank you for joining us on The Third Sector.